everything you'd like to know about flowers. Welcome to the show, Mercedes.
Thank you, Marianne. Now, exciting news for the listeners. It's official. floralgossip.com.au is live. So if you're after any goodies from our show here, and all the tips and tricks and whatever, we've got lots and lots of freebies on the website to go to and soak up your senses with knowledge, floral knowledge.
That's so excellent, because it's so hard for people who aren't working in the industry to remember everything.
Yeah, indeed.
And we certainly give them lots of information about flowers, and you certainly do as well. You know, and yeah, no one's going to remember all that, so they're going to.
No, so if you're after the floral cut flower library, it's floralgossip.com.au, and the book hopefully will be out at the end of the year, Floral Gossip Book 1.
Excellent. Now today we're talking about Protea nerifolia,
yes,
just Protea, and in particular pink ice, and there's another one, special pink ice.
I want to hear more about that, because the special pink ice sounds very special to me, Marianne.
Oh, I think it is. It's much larger. It grows almost double the size of...
Double? Yeah, that's generous. What is it, on steroids or something?
Well, possibly, because I think they bred it for just for show. More show.
Mm. Exactly. Now, it's been hybridised here in Australia, the nerifolia form of Protea that I'm holding here, which is the pink ice. Now, I've brought the one that's closed, as you can see there, and the one that is open. If you're after long life, this is certainly the cut flower to invest in, because it can last up to 21 days. So anywhere between 14 and 21 days as a cut flower, may I add. And because it's a woody stem, as you can see there, very woody, they're waterholics. So they're going to drink twice as much than a normal generic cut flower. Woody means waterholic, not alcoholic, waterholic, opposed to, for example, a gerbera. So if you're going to put some water in your vase, make sure that it's not tap water. And I want to speak more about tap water when it comes to the pink ice nerifolia. The reason why, not that I've got an example on me at the moment when it comes to black leaf, the reason why it does get a black leaf, A, is because tap water falls onto the leaf, and because it's sensitive to fluoride, it starts to go black. That's one of the reasons why it goes black. And the other reason is because it's a female, once your lights go off at night time, Miss Pink Ice nerifolia is scared of the dark. So you need to keep your lighting on when you go to bed, because Miss Pink Ice nerifolia doesn't like to be alone in the dark.
Oh, that's why the leaves go black as well.
One of the reasons why it goes black.
Oh, right. Now, Mercedes, did you know that Protea is among the oldest family of flowers on Earth, dating back 300 million years?
Is that the dinosaur age?
Pretty much.
So if you're lacking a dinosaur in your life, get some pink ice nerifolia into your living room.
Yeah. Well, actually, the good thing about Protea is that people love to grow them in their own garden. But the only place they shouldn't grow them is if they get frost below -4 degrees, or in subtropical or tropical areas. Doesn't suit, won't grow there. Or clay soils. No, it doesn't like that either.
Talk about being picky.
Picky,
huh?
Yeah, I know.
She's very picky. Well, I mean, she's got every right. She's female. Now, is it edible? No. Can you dry it? Yes. And as it starts to dry out, get yourself some hairspray and spray it. And it just keeps the form more intact if you're into dried looking cut flowers. We spoke about that it's up to 21 days vase life. Ethylene sensitive? No. Does it have skin irritations? No, it doesn't. But does it smell?
Very faintly. There's some kind of greeny smell from it.
A bit like a
fresh spring smell.
Yeah, like when you mow your lawn, that sort of smell. I don't mind a lawn being cut freshly. Do you like that smell,
Yeah,
Marianne?
absolutely.
Oh, it takes me back to my childhood. Now, does it have cousins? Absolutely. And let's name them.
Oh, okay. So there's Banksias. In fact, anybody in the Proteaceae family, really.
Banksia, Leucodendron,
yep,
Leucospermum, Waratah. That's a cousin. Tilapia.
Yes.
Is another. So we're just showing off here, just to, you know, showcase to the listeners that if you want to pick on pink ice, Nerifolium, she's got a lot of cousins and she has a lot of support, so I'd think twice about that. Now, we all love what this section's all about, you know, the message that Ms Pink Ice has to the listeners, Talking Flowers listeners, of course. Now, her message is this: whether it's historical or new pain in your life, I am here to help you move forward through it. I am here to support you to face your pain head on, instead of the, you know, I'm just going to go and drink some wine, lots of wine, and forget about it. No, she's here to aid you and hold your hand when it comes to extreme pain that you can't handle. Miss Pink Ice also unlocks any energy forces that you have in the areas of pain. You know, there's a lot of us who have historical pain, and as soon as you come across it in the future, it unlocks historical pain with the new pain, and together it's the worst pain ever. So this is the cut flower to have around you to manage that pain. Use me to connect with your past loved ones and enjoy the feelings of joy that I bring across from the other side to the living side, which is what we experience every day. So if you want to connect with your grandma, your grandfather, or even a pet, this is the cut flower to have around you in order to focus on that pain or focus on that realm that you want to connect to. Miss Pink Ice is here to help you connect and get over things.
Well, that's excellent to know. It is. Now, I was wondering whether you had heard of the Greek legend that the Protea were named after Proteus, the son of Poseidon.
Yes, I've heard of that. It's good that you brought it up.
No.
Good to know.
Yeah, a sea god who had the power to know all things, past, present, and the future.
There you go. Well, exactly what I've just spoken about. If you want to connect to the world that, you know, the dead world.
But there's more. Apparently, Proteus was a bit of a lazy old god, and he preferred to take a nap on an island.
That I didn't know.
Yes, and then to stop people asking him questions, he would change his shape at will. So he would hide. It was a bit of a shapeshifter, and so apparently that's why the Protea flower was named after him, because it comes in a variety of shapes and sizes.
It certainly does.
Well, there you go. So there's 1,400 varieties. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
And more, because you
counting,
because as you mentioned, that the Australians really good at hybridising.
We certainly are, especially when it comes to this variety,
the Nerifolium.
Yeah, we're very good at it. See, Australians are very good at something. We're not lazy.
Not lazy indeed. And if you want to grow it in your garden, you don't have to feed it, because it doesn't need feeding. It doesn't seem to want any feeding, unless you've got pure sand or something growing it on the beach. And
good to know.
And if you want to prune it, don't prune the stems which have not flowered this year, because they will flower next year.
Right.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
No, and possibly most people didn't either, because they just prune all over, thinking, oh yes, I'll prune it to shape and size, but then you're probably pruning off next year's flowers.
Now, before I forget, I did touch on the subject of tap water. When it comes to any cut flower, tap water is a crime, in particular when it comes to Proteas. And when it comes to Proteas, flower food is also a crime. So anything with a woody stem, do not add flower food to the water.
Ah, that's really good.
Accelerates the aging process.
Yes, indeed. Oh, that's really good to know. Yes. And I think most people would love to have one of these in their garden. I think I had one, but it was growing in too shady an area, and it was growing quite large. And me being a bit ignorant at the time, it was years ago, I thought, oh, it's not going to flower, I pulled it out. That was a mistake. I should have just waited and
should have
just waited, because it takes a few years to establish before it actually starts flowering anyway. So
now, speaking of flowering, did you know that if you sprinkle Epsom salts into the ground, little birdie told me, because Pink Ice Nerifolium loves magnesium. and Epsom salt has magnesium in it. So
Yes.
whether you're sprinkling it into the vase of water or into the ground, I think that's a really good tip to know. And did you know that birds, when it comes to colour, they're attracted to the colour red?
I knew that. I knew that.
So if you want bird life in your garden, and you don't mind a bit of magpie manure, is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Or spray, in the nice way. Get some red cut flowers or flower trees into your garden if you want to attract bird life. And this is certainly the plant to have in your garden, because that looks a bit like a dark pink to me.
It does actually. Yeah.
It could look a bit of red if you
Yes.
don't have your glasses on.
I know.
So pink ice blossoms if you want some bird life in your garden, and don't forget the magnesium in the water.
Wonderful tips once again, Mercedes. Thanks so much for sharing your knowledge with us on Real World Gardener.